I did art fight this year! So I'm sure if you've been in the online art community for long enough, you've heard of art fight, possibly this year's TikTokification of art fight. Maybe not the best year for a first-time art fighter, but I digress. I'm not here to talk about art fight's TikTokification or how to use art fight, like there's plenty of videos out there already. I'm just going to talk simply about what it is and my art fight experience. I'll try to convince you by example as to why you should join art fight, because like if you're thinking, oh, I don't have time to constantly make drawings all month, that's not what it is. Many people only make like 5 pieces every art fight. It's not a big deal. So still, as a really simplified rundown, art fight is an annual game hosted on artfight.net. It functions basically by trading art between its users. You draw other people's characters and receive a certain amount of points for your team per drawing. The drawings you make for people on the opposite team are called attacks. If you attack someone who previously attacked you, that's revenge. And if you attack someone on the same team as you, it's friendly fire. If the same 2 people keep revenging each other, that's a revenge chain. The amount of points a drawing earns is determined by how much of the character you draw, how detailed or finished the drawing is, and what you do with the background if you add one. I first wanted to join art fight last year, but I, like many others, was concerned about the time commitment of a month-long art game. This is also why I haven't done things like Inktober, Mermaid, Cringetober. I have yet to do the 30-day improvement hell, but I really want to. But I'd argue that a game that just lasts for the duration of a month is a much more friendly commitment than trying to do a whole art piece every day for 30 days straight. The art fight game lasts for a whole month, but it doesn't come with a schedule or daily requirement of attacks to make. The month-long period is just the window you have to submit your art as an attack. There's people whose schedules may only allow for maybe 2 or 3 attacks, and some people are tryhards with a goal of, I don't know, 100 attacks. Which, no hate to either of them, like, you guys are doing great. I'm not employed or going on a really long vacation or anything, but I did commit to this like college summer program for a week, and my school still assigned just a lot of homework. So I wasn't going in expecting to pump out like a drawing or 2 a day, and I'm not an outlier in this. Many of the artists that I followed or attacked only got like 4 or 5 pieces done within the span of this month, and my friends only finished about 9 combined. So how did I manage art fight alongside everything else? I started immediately on day 1 with friendly fire and one of my friends who helped convince me to join art fight, though it did take me a while to think of what pose to draw them in. I'd mostly gone over the whole schedule worries, but I had my friends assure me that I wouldn't face any like legal or copyright issues with the site for uploading my OCs before getting copyright on the projects they're from. For this character Lyra, I got an idea to draw him, using his gun as an air guitar. But I had to double check with the character page because I was worried about like, oh, what if this is out of character? What if my friend doesn't like it? Then I remembered they're silly, so it'll probably be fine. So that was going to be part of my consideration of what characters to draw, whether or not I had a good idea for a pose or a composition of them, because in attacks you can't use bases or tracing. And just to be safe, I didn't use any pose references either for attacks. I came up with all of them just on my own. This first one went well, and I realized that drawing weapons is actually pretty fun. Like, you know, once you've figured out all the shapes and details, you just draw them. I don't know what it is about it, I just like it. Wish I felt this way about like cars or animals or something, so I could actually know how to draw cars or animals. From the 2nd to 4th days, I maintained pretty high motivation for art fight and just drawing in general, so I knocked out about 4 finished attacks in the span of those 3 days. The 2nd ever published attack I finished also came with this fully rendered background because I figured I could use the practice for AP art this year. And the 3rd one I tried to put into Adobe Photoshop for some like extra propaganda poster flair, but then I realized I didn't really know how to use Photoshop. So in the end I just used this overlay layer of a Procreate brush that looked like paper. Though since I designed it aiming to import into Photoshop anyway, I feel like the style changed a bit. This next one I drew in my more pixelated art style, which I do start to lean into more as the fight continues. Because I like drawing in both of these styles. I saw art fight, at the start at least, as an opportunity to develop my art styles or try experimenting a bit with them. So on the 5th day I got really tired, so I decided to take a break from drawing, and it was sad because I could feel the burst of motivation from this thing being new and different wearing off after the first few days. And the next day I got sick. And putting my questionable health aside, I did some art fight to relax instead of my homework. And maybe I could chalk this up to me wanting to focus on drawing and relaxing enjoyment without pressure. Maybe it was the sickness. I drew this very detailed alien Garfield that was supposed to just be a part of the background. And then I made 2 versions of the drawing. I guess I just really like catgirls. and cats. I have 3 dogs. After I felt better, I still didn't have that initial excitement from the first few days. And I'd accomplished my goal of drawing characters for the whole 2 artists that I followed prior to Art Fight. So I kinda just relaxed for the rest of the month. I worked on my schoolwork and I drew outside of Art Fight, mostly the D&D. I didn't have to force myself to do more art, which honestly worked out great for me and my schedule. I finished 3 more pieces after taking a bit of a break, but they also happened to be during that college summer camp thing. I also still had to do my summer reading, so I decided to set time in the morning between workshops to do my homework, and then relax and draw in the evenings when I got back home. So this way I finished 2 drawings. And after that event was over, I was ready to just be done with Art Fight. I only had about a week of summer left. I drew some art for people with cool characters, and I had fun, and that's all I needed really, and that was all I just wanted to do. And then I found out another artist I followed was doing Art Fight this year, so I did one last extra drawing. I was already focused on speedrunning my homework, so I made this one pretty small in comparison, but she's a little guy, she's just a little guy, look at her, it's perfect. So yeah, I made this video partially to just yap, but also because I wanted to say you don't need to try hard or make 50 drawings in a month for Art Fight. And obviously if you like the competitive aspect and you do want to aim for 50 drawings or more or whatever, by all means, you do you. Like, we support artists here. I just felt worried last year that my schedule and nature of having interest or motivation in things wouldn't work with Art Fight, and I wanted to see if other people felt that way too, and if they did, just put it out there that it really isn't stressful if you don't want it to be, and if you don't force yourself to participate as much as other people. And I'm so doing Art Fight next year, so follow me on Art Fight at Evermoth.